that hyperbolic time chamber, but we come back with the wise men. We feel like we at top of the mountains, and this is the opportunity that we are growing. Everything is happening in this season. You see things moving forward. We got the master trader online. We here with the master student, Michael Ofani X, taking notes, and you all are making sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you review this before the market opens, because again, we're also going to review things that happened on this past week. We're also going to be talking about charting in general. We're always really serious about technical analysis and taking that technical trading to the next level. You got to know your levels. You got to know your levels. So our brother's going to review the levels and also ways to overstand the macroeconomic effects of things that are happening. We had China making coordinations with Russia. We had UK making coordinations with US. And this is important to know just because it does have a broader effect on the broader market. And also even saw something in the effect of India having a trade deal with Pakistan. So it's important for us as a people to be able to tune into the truth and tune into the ways that we can know, be ahead of information, and just by being in the know. So we appreciate y'all tuning in with the Master Trader. Without further ado, our brother IQ Heavy.
How you doing, bro? IQ Heavy stepping on the scene. You already know. We hold them. We trading. You see the check. That's where we headed. I keep it simple. Get to the basics. So we going with charting today. So I guess I can start with the levels. So well, I guess we could start with how we get to the levels. So I'll back it up. So over this last week, we just had a lot of macro event news. We had the FOMC meeting with Jerome Powell. They held the rate state steady. It was 4.25, which is basically we didn't get a move. Everybody was anticipating no move, so the market didn't really get too much move. But then we caught a trade war deal, technically, where they were going through the tariffs. So after the Trump Liberation Day, everything went down. But then, as of recent, we had some deal talks with the EU. So we're looking into what that's going to be. We also had a surprise with Saudi Arabia that led to a crackdown in the oil for a little bit. So oil had dropped to under 60, and energy stocks like SLE saw heavy dips on fear. So XLE was a good play that you was able to jump into to capitalize on the dip. As far as what moved the market this week, so to counter what occurred, we had earnings beats. So Palantir is really what saved the market this week, amongst with AMD, Disney, Shopify, and Coinbase. They moved the markets. So Palantir beat and guided strong, causing a squeeze on a lot of contracts. And Disney was lifted with 76 million box office haul from the Thunderbolts, which was surprising to me. But that was what moved the market. So Disney is bullish, Palantir bullish. Shopify missed their earnings slightly, but all in all, the whole market got to be able to get pulled forward. So as long as we stayed above 5,600 on ES, and if we track ES, that's the total market. You're looking at the SPY, and you needed a level. 560 is a level. We stayed above that, we was bullish, and we hit 570. So now we stay above that, we bullish. So in the crypto markets, we have Bitcoin around 94. With uncertainty, and the way it works is it's not a guaranteed correlation, but what I've correlated is gold moves first and Bitcoin moves 100 days after. So gold is up about 20% on the year, and Bitcoin is up about 8. So I would give it about, give or take another 60 to 70 days, and Bitcoin should be to overtake gold, not in market cap, but in direction and price. So you'll see a breakout on things like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Fetch AI, AGIX. So if you went and checked, those all are cryptos. Those all surged. Solana, those all surged over this weekend. Currently, probably still surging. So the levels right now for resistance on the SPY is 5. It's a key psychological level. Is 5,700, which is 570 on the SPY. Possible overexertion. If you see us open up on Monday and we get to 575, 578, that might be a point where you want to take profits for a pullback. because the support is at 555. That's a strong demand zone. But if you notice, that's a whole $20 down. So if you plan the SPY, you'll be able to get you a move to the up or the downside. You just got to be in position, paying attention to when you need to take your position. And the resistance on Bitcoin, looking at all of the markets, Bitcoin's resistance is 96,500. That was where it primarily broke out from. So the support zone right now is around 98.7 to 100,000. But if it breaks down in the short term, we want to hold 92. We lose 92 and we're going down. But right now, everything is looking bullish. So ES 57 critical hold level, 50-day moving average, 570, 5740, or basically 574 or 576. It's high volume, potential upside on the dovish Fed. The Fed was not really dovish. So expect the markets to still continue to move based off the momentum that happened from last week. But our support on that will be 561. We can't lose 560. But the Fibonacci is the 618 retracement. That's where I got us set up at for this 516 and how I got that number. But those are really the only two levels you really need to know in the market to dictate all the other markets. So Bitcoin's level dictates the crypto markets level, and the SPY dictates the actual stock market levels. So knowing those two levels right there, you'll make a lot of money. As far as like, specific stocks and stuff like that, like I got Palantir. If you're looking to get into some stocks, so into crypto, stock related, Mara will continue to run. Riot will continue to run. CleanSpark will continue to run. uh, Palantir will continue to run. Hems will continue to run. Coin will continue to run. Tesla will continue to run. These are trends, but just don't get caught in the trend. It's going to continue to run for all of Monday. We're going to get a pullback for Tuesday, and then you can pick up the pullback or buy the dip, so to speak, and go from there.
Man, bro was dropping them gems, man. I hope y'all caught it, man. Shout out to Spidey for over there talking that talk, taking these people to the next level. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If we already just gave you information that you can take ahead with the strong, because again, we don't do another week over here. We gotta transform our mind to make sure that we're taking that information to the next level. And so just make sure I'm hearing you correct. For Spy, did you say the level was 550?
No, for SPY, the level is going right now. It's 570. You don't want to lose 570.
570. And I remember you saying if it's 560, we bullish.
If we stay above 561, so 561.8, as long as we stay above that, so even on a pullback, you can still buy in. As long as we don't break that, that's just a healthy dip.
Cool. Say less, say less. And that's perfect. And so then the goal, I'm sorry, you said that was 570.
Yeah, I only say 5,700 when I speak that way. That's futures. So I speak in terms of like all three markets. So some people understand it as 5,700, but then it correlates to the SPY's 570. It's just they don't correlate hand in hand. So the SPY could be at one spot and S&P, oh, not the SPY. SPY can be at one spot and the ES could be at another spot. So it could be like, well, it's at 574 over here, and the SPY is only at 570. But normally the SPY will trail, so it'll follow what the ES is doing. So if ES break out, yeah. So if you see ES break out, the SPY gonna break out.
And so let's break that down. I think that's a good one because we're talking about investing and trading. Those are two different ways to utilize the money. Because again, we're looking to get people off that corporate plantation. People a lot of times are trading their time and for that money as opposed to trading that money for that money. You dig? And so to talk to us more about that, man, in terms of futures, because I love what you just said in terms of futures. Break that down. So because I'm kind of new to that too and kind of wanted to get clarity. So is it basically like you're trading assets, what you predict assets to be in the future?
Right. Same concept for options. They just give it a different word because it costs a lot more money. Options give you the ability to jump into something that if it's going the wrong way, you got time, so you can lose your value, but you have time. You can go all the way out to the end of the year, leaps and stuff like that. But futures, you plan it based off of what you expect off the time horizon. So if you expect it to go up and you put your five, you can get ES many, E minis, or you can get regular contracts. But these contracts cost 500 to upward to 9,000. So these contracts cost more money, but they yield you more upside. So for every point, you're picking up $100 to $50. And yeah, the average move is 100 to about 100 points, or 50. 50 is the average. 50 points. 50 points people usually move. So most times people will make like a quick $5,000 off of a small move with the SPY. And if you happen to get a big move with the SPY, so like a $10 move on the SPY, those are like your $20,000 days. The futures are just it's a different multiplier. That's really basically the best way to explain it. With options, it's a multiplier, and with crypto, with ES, it's a multiplier, but the multiplier is a lot higher. So it's like your five could be times 95,000.
No, that's big. That's big. I love that breakdown there, and that's definitely ways that we can connect those ways of
Mike went out a little bit.
there are different ways to make money. Because to that point, I do see that that is something that is great. There is great value in us being able to break down these complex topics. Because even just from us being into knowing ESS or even just SPY and Tesla, we do have to break that down. So even the S&P 500 and saying how that's correlated of different indexes of different stock companies, and so it's ways for us to basically mitigate our risk while being able to get advantage of different moves in the market. And so that's the key, is just being able to figure out better ways to utilize our money, because we need to be able to get access to the truth and in real time, because again, your ability to know, to chart, to know your levels puts you ahead of the game, puts you ahead of what is happening. There are people who are studying on the weekend, and there's people who are just pulling up onto the market on the when it opens up, right? And so we have to be those prepared, because you have to prepare to win. And so that's what we're in the spirit of helping our people prepare. Because if you don't prepare to plan, you plan, or if you fail to plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You dig? And so we got to be able to make sure that we prepare to win and prepare to have victory and prepare to take things to the next level. So we appreciate our brother for giving us more victory. So talk to our people on a general level, break it down, simple concept, why this is important in terms of how they can utilize this to prepare their families, prepare their investing, prepare their time, and why ultimately, because I guess this even explain. I love when we had our conversations. We talk about how it's not that we have an issue with money, it's we don't get how money works. So talk to them about that, my brother.
Man, so in this situation, to give a better breakdown of how the ES works, it's more so you hear people say a lot of ES mini, ES micros, ES, ES, ES. I say it's a bunch of bullshit. I just talk in layman's terms. It's just basically leveraging your money. You get to take $500 in the contract. We use the word contract, but it's basically I'm taking my money, $500, I'm putting it on something, but the place I'm putting it is allowing me to turn that 500 into 28,000. You're like, well, what do you mean? Well, putting the 500 in allows you to have a value of about 28,000, and now you get to go trade inside of a market that's worth trillions of dollars. So if you win, say you get the direction right, you were trading with $28,000. So for every point you picking up about $50. So you might make a quick $500 on the 10-point move. That's only 10 points. So $500 on a 10-point move, say it does 100 points, you're making a quick $5,000, and you're just running it up off of 500, because you don't need to have a lot of money. Money is not necessarily a real thing. It's a concept. So you take the concept and you expand it. If I have the ability to take 500 and place it somewhere that allowed me to be worth 28,000, and they say, well, what's the catch? Well, if you get it wrong, you lose 500. That's it. That's how I look at it, because it's gambling to some extent, and yes, it's high risk. But if you're doing the research and you're in the back offices and you're talking to people like us, you're gonna have the right edge, because we're gonna be able to give you the entries and the exit points, so you'll actually know your levels. So knowing your levels gives you the ability to play with the market. So I can jump in right now, play it from this level to this level, scalp and make a quick $700 and go about my day. You can do it as a daily thing. You can do it as a weekly thing. Do it as a monthly thing. Do it as a yearly thing. You can do this for life. For me, trading is not a day thing, it's a lifestyle. So it's all about how your lifestyle is. Sometimes you can, in life, you learn you want money, so you trade your time for it. You don't get your time back. You die once. Well, you die more than once, but you only remember the other times coming back. You only remember one time. So to that point, I just look at it from that perspective. You can go all in, making it your lifestyle. So now you don't have a situation where it feels like you're taking risks because you've done the work, you've done the research to figure out, okay, this is about to go up. Let me put my money here and let me maximize the size of my money so that way I can get the better move for myself. And then I can build my wealth and I can continue to build my health because health is wealth. So in these situations, you want to get your time back. So instead of trading your time for money, you can switch and trade the money for your time. So that one $500 that you're like, man, I don't know, man. What if I lose it? What if you don't? What if it goes up exactly like you anticipated it to do because you took a leap of faith and you listened to yourself and you jumped into a trading group or an entrepreneur group like us that gave you the ability to have like-minded people with you to help you push you to that next level. So then you have confidence that there's other people in the trade with you, and then we go to the next level and you make a quick five to $10,000 and then you're not sure. You thinking about stuff like I'm gonna quit my job. No, don't do that yet. You still need to go to work and make the money so that way you can use that money to maximize the size of your portfolio. Because you could take the small amount and make it a bigger amount. It's called margin, basically. It's leverage to a certain extent. But you're protected as long as you've done the research. And that's how you change your life.
That's power, bro. Man, I hope y'all
Trade your
drop them gems, man. With just
trade
with
that
those
money
alone,
for time.
with just those gems alone right there, my brother just dropped, man. That's key how we gotta get out of that spirit of trading our time for that money and rather give back our money and give back our time. Because your time is your most valuable asset. You hear my young in the background. We got to be able to take time and have time with our family and also show them a way because when they grow up, we don't want them out here in the world having to not know how they are feeding themselves. We want to provide a clear roadmap and really clear assets, right? That they can leverage, utilize, or not utilize, let it grow or not grow, right? Based on their decisions and based on the teachings and foundations and fundamentals that we provided them. And so it's just key for us to make it easier for the next generation. So this is what this is all about, lovepreneurship, right? Because it's a secret, it's a system that we're working over here. So what is that system, right? The lovepreneurship system that we're working is the mompreneur, the dadpreneur, the childpreneur, all working together in family business. Now, what you have in most families, a lot of different other families, right? One mompreneur, she got another business. Dadpreneur, he got his own business. Childpreneur, he cool like that. They all doing their own thing, and they not coming back to the same trust agreement. They're not coming back to the foundation. They're not building trust in their work. They're not building trust in their work. They're taking it, making it harder for themselves to take themselves to the next level. And so that's key for us to be able to do that. It's key for us to be able to take ourselves to the next level and be able to be a better being in this season of time because life is always happening. Life is something that we have to be able to teach our youth about and raise better children. And the way we raise better children is giving them a roadmap. So give your child a roadmap. Comment your roadmap, like and share and subscribe if you already got something that you can grow from. Because again, we're talking about chart and we're talking about SPY. If you missed that part, we're talking in the first part. Make sure you like and share that replay. And so we're gonna talk about the strong in review, mainly just kind of different things. My brother already dropped some key points talking about the FOMC. You know what I mean? The interest rate in particular, taking things to the next level. And so we're gonna actually have another episode tomorrow where we talk about the market in ahead, right? And ways to leverage the market in ahead. And so that's the key thing for us to start to think about. One other things that we kind of want to talk about now is just in general. I know you mentioned crypto being something that is on the move, or at least Ethereum in particular. Yeah, that's the key. That's the key. That's the key. And so on that note, we're gonna close out because this is that season. So make sure y'all tune in, tap in for tomorrow's particular show, right? Because this is gonna be about the stronger head. So tap in, like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all got the details. And on that, we closing out. Appreciate you, my bro. Anything you want to end them with?
Now, see you tomorrow with the great visuals to help y'all walk yourself to a million.
Amen. And on that note, we out of here. Love.